Oh, hello! Welcome back to the channel. Side quest is on the topic for this one. Lots of stuff just dropped a moment ago. Well, no, I say lots of it. Eternity of Pain. That's not really lots. The repetition goes on of the Eternity of Pain. We're on the third Eternity of Pain. But that's not what this video is about. It's all about the final week of the side quest. As a lot of you know, there is a solo event that coincides with it, which basically involves going and slapping up some champions. America Chavez, Jubilee, Misty Knight, Scorpion. If, as we said last week, if you follow the little guide about the extent of grind for this, and this was in the spreadsheet that I put out a long time ago, which was just over on this kind of like number expression of numbers. God, I can't even speak properly. If you got a 6-star, you go against a 2-star, it'll be 16 fights based on the points, which is 5,000 divided by 325 or 325 divided by 5,000, whatever it is. And then 5-star versus 5-star, 5-star versus 3-star, whatever. If you're, as in like you have the 5-star version of a champion versus the 3-star version of the champion based on fighting your own roster in practice, then you can do that. Again, let's demonstrate that whole kind of like ethos. I'm fortunate enough to have a 6-star America Chavez, which is one of the 5 champions. Is it 4 champions? 4 champions that you need for this. And yeah, so like I just quite simply go to my Mystics. I'll then find my America Chavez, which is not a champion I'm too interested with working with, to be honest. But then there's a lot of champions in this game now to go, oh, but that champion's, yeah, champion's good, but just don't have the time to grind out the champion. Now you can do like more easier kind of versions, just going up against a 2-star and repetition each time. The only difference between me kind of doing this way is that I just get, I think it's 500 points, a lot more easier just by kind of just doing this. So it's an option at the end of the day. I don't know if it's like Kabam want you to play other champions, or they're just giving you a load of kind of like fun 2-stars. But to be honest, with the extent of like this month with the 6-star arena, it's nice having those extra 2-stars. It's just ranking them up's a bit weird. It does feel very weird. So I only need to do this one more time and then it's all done, because I've done in preparation for this video. I've been grinding a little bit because, you know, no one wants to see 10 fights of America Chavez 6-star versus the 6-star rank 1. That doesn't really mean for interesting content, but we're going to move on to the side quest in a moment's time. What does this SP1 do? Not very much damage. Likewise, the receipt is given back from the other America Chavez. And then if you swipe, tap, tap, all wrapped up, boom, and done. Back out of there. We'll go into our side quest, and then you'll find that it's all done. If you don't have an America Chavez, you do. You got a 2-star version. So if you're using any 6-star against a 2-star version, it will be 16 fights. If it's a 5-star versus it, then obviously it's going to be a little bit less. So it's going to be like a little bit more. Sorry. Then it's going to be like, you know, it's going to be, if it's 3-star, it's going to be 17 fights. Maybe approaching about 20 fights if it's going to be you using your 5-star version against 2-star, 4-star against 2-star, etc, etc. But that's all done and dusted there. Got all my shards, and I'll probably be doing an opening of that Cavalier Crystal at some point next month, so September. Especially because I'm going to be taking some time off in September, especially toward the latter point of it. But now, let's get into the side quest, and we've got a little bit of footage. Champion-wise, it's always a bit of an odd one of like champion usages, or the best champions. You can sort of use energy champions, which is one of the big things to avoid. I've gone through this twice. I've been rotating teams. So this is one of the teams that I've been kind of like rotating with. I've tried Spider-Man 2099. That seems fine. And I've also tried Black Widow Clairvoyant, which I have no idea how that ended up like working. I'm going to throw up some footage in a second of all that and the 2 paths that I did those 2 paths right there. But yeah, like the particular champion, Galan in particular, has enhanced parry, which is 50% power gain after a successful parry by the attacker. Attacker receives power gain buff, which is good, gets you power. But at the same time, if you do energy based attacks, it's a problem. It's a problem because higher energy diet. The defender has 99% energy resistance, and any hit that deals energy damage regenerates them for what the damage would have been. While the defender is affected by an incinerate, shock, or cold snap debuff, the defender gains 100% of a bar of power. So you don't want to shock, you don't want to incinerate, and yeah, just don't do all those things. Or cold snap, you don't want to do any of those things. It does limit you in kind of interaction. Doesn't mean to say that like, oh, you know, that means every champion can't be used. As I said, I went with this blind. Well, actually, Black Widow Clairvoyant, and it strangely worked fine to a degree. It was a bit sweaty, and I don't particularly like that in the best of times in MCOC. And then I used Spider-Man 2099, and I like that. The reason being that champions that have more of a kind of, non-energy type attacks, normally the way to go with this. And this is why I'm kind of going back into it in a moment. Depending on the route as well, depending on the champions you face off against, you could look to build up a few missions with Corvus Glaive. Or you could use a champion that has heal block within its nature in order to kind of like suppress any kind of like healing that the champion does. I want to use Warlock, even though it's kind of, well, I don't know actually. I think, well, no, that'll be fine as long as I rotate around SB2s and also build up on that power side of things. Or, you know, as soon as I got in power block, then I'll be able to use SP1s. Just got to watch out for that shock. Got to watch out for all the fundamentals. But at the same time, you got to watch out for bubble shield. And maybe using a champion that interacts with that, maybe high regen champions may be quite good. Well, as I always say, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. So Black Widow Clairvoyant I ended up using, mainly because I wanted to suppress buffs with it. But then most champions that got stagger could be relatively effective for it, and you could look for a rotation with the likes of Mr. Fantastic and stuff like that. So yeah, always a bit of a tricky one, I think, with some good counters. But anyway, that's what I used, and I think that's going to be it for the video. There's not really much that's going to go on with this. Again, very kind of like open and shut case when it comes to these side quests for the month. Got a little bit to wrap up, which I'm going to do on stream at some point, whenever that is, either today, tomorrow, or whenever. But yeah, that's been the video. Thank you very much for watching. And that's the last one for the month. This is the last video for the month. And then tomorrow, we're 1st of September, and we've got a little video about seeing how Scarlet Witch is after the nerf from the Dear Sister Synergy. So yeah, check out some other content, which is located on screen. And I'll see you very soon. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. See you in the live stream later on today.